guys, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thank you so much for joining me on your reading. I would firstly like to say so sorry that I haven't been on in the last 3 to 4 weeks. I have been really busy. I moved home. I've been dealing with private clients. I was trying to sort the apartment out and get it to look the way that I want it to look. And amidst all of that kind of madness, I knew that something had to be sacrificed. Unfortunately, it had to be YouTube, because I just didn't have time to fit you in, to do the videos, to edit, all of that good stuff that I really like to do. Because I like to try and bring out decent, polished videos that look, aesthetically pleasing, getting the right direction on the cards and that type of thing, as well as trying to be really informative. And I knew that if I put stuff out with the way that things were, with trying to move and get, my apartment the way that I wanted it to, it would have just been an almighty mess, and I wouldn't have been able to concentrate. And plus, obviously, dealing with my own private clients and that, just wasn't a good time to get anything out on YouTube. So things are feeling a lot better now. My apartment is finally taking shape. This is the new kind of office area. At my old apartment, I built this massive desk filled with like 6 desks, loads of camera equipment everywhere, and it was incredible to work on that, on that type of platform, doing personal clients and also YouTube. But then I realised that moving to my new apartment, I didn't really want to work like that. It felt a bit chaotic. So I have a smaller desk now, as you can see. You can't see everything on the desk. I might do a tour or something of the apartment when I get a chance. But I've got a smaller desk. It's brilliant. I've got all my cards and books and everything and office equipment over here and that type of thing. So everything feels a lot more kind of sharp and a lot more put together and a lot less chaotic. So yeah, things are really looking up and looking good, and I'm feeling good and raring to go. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing your reading today for you. I thought that we might actually, guys, do a month ahead reading. Because I didn't have time this week to get any weeklies out. There just wasn't any time to do it. So yeah, we're going to do monthly. We're going to look at September 2020 for each of the signs, see what's going down with you guys, okay? Please recognise as well, guys, that this is a general reading. So for some of you guys it's going to resonate, and for some of you guys it won't. The other thing to say is please give the video a like and a thumbs up. So is it a like and a thumbs up? It's the same thing, isn't it? So no, give the video a like. Please give the video a like, because it really does help the channel. And also, if you can, put a comment down in the comment section, guys. It really helps the algorithms and everything with the channel. So if you can do that for me, I would be eternally grateful. That would be absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, we're going to do your reading now, guys. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to do a Celtic cross for the reading for the month ahead. Yeah, I think I am, because usually on the weeklies I would do sort of, general, career and love, but I think on this reading it's probably just going to be the Celtic this week, okay, for September. So guys, get a cup of tea, get a coffee, get a cold drink, get a snack, sit back, relax, and just really enjoy your reading. And it's really good to be back. For all of you also, finally, who wrote to me and said, Carol, where are you, where have you been, what's going on with you, are you okay? As you can see, I'm absolutely fine. It's simply that I was moving house, and whilst moving house, too difficult to do too many things at one time. So yeah, sit back, guys, relax, and please enjoy the reading. Hi guys, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. So, I'm going to show you the deck we are using for your September 2020 reading. We are going to be using the This Might Hurt Tarot deck. I'm going to get a new one of these this week. This is getting really scuffed on the sides, so yeah. But this is probably, besides the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin and the Dark Mansion Tarot, these are probably my 3 most favourite decks. I'm probably going to do a video actually on my favourite decks of all time, which, yeah, I think I'm going to do a video on that actually, because I've got so many of them. But I always, whenever I'm doing personal clients or YouTube, this is my go-to deck for sure. I love this deck very much, so I'm going to use this one today. This is a new arrival. Well, these 2 are both new actually. These came yesterday. This is the pocket edition of the Next World Tarot. If any of you guys have got the Next World Tarot, guys, you'll know that the standard deck, the first edition that came out of this particular deck by Christie, can I pronounce her name? Christie Sea Road. It's a humongous deck. It's massive. The cards are actually, it's a large deck. I prefer large decks rather than smaller ones, so you'll know that it's a large deck. But she decided to do a pocket edition, just discovered it on Amazon the other day, and I thought, oh my goodness, got to get that. So yeah, we can use that for any clarifiers. And finally, this is a new deck as well, came yesterday, the Mystical Healing Reading cards by Ina Segal. I've already got, I think, a couple of her decks. One is Blessed Be, I can't quite remember the other one, but she always produces the most beautiful decks. I just love working with her stuff, it's really powerful. So we're going to use that for your spiritual advice this week. So guys, as I always say, you know what my mantra is, please sit back, relax, enjoy the reading, go and get a snack and just kind of, you know, get comfy and listen to the messages that are being sent to you via Spirit today. Hi Taurus, welcome to Taurus Universe. This is your September 2020 reading. Let's make a start. Okay Taurus, so we've got the cards down and we're going to have a look at how I do my Celtics is I pull the cards one at a time and I ask the question, so what is the situation that you're facing? So with this card here is what situation you'd be facing in September 2020. A Four of Swords. So you may be facing a situation that talks about, for example, recovery. Four of Swords is one of those cards that, I mean, some people would read that as an illness card, but I would read that as a recovery card. So you may be recovering from something in September. Taurus. Four of Swords could also be withdrawing from something. You may be deciding to withdraw from something with the Four of Swords energy. Four of Swords also represents the need to kind of contemplate and gain some insight into a situation, so you might be doing that as well. Really for me, Fours are about stability and the Swords are about the mind. So for me also the Four of Swords is also about resolving the mental, it's about stabilising the mind, that type of thing. But let's have a look at what's contributing towards the Four of Swords. The Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is to do with love, sometimes, not all the time, but the Ace of Cups really in its traditional sense is to do with perhaps there's a new relationship with an Ace of Cups energy. Perhaps the Ace of Cups could be to do with offering love, giving love. It could be a gift, for example, that you're receiving here. Perhaps there's a gift. Maybe some of you guys are contemplating that gift with the Four of Swords energy. Maybe there's a resolution here due to maybe somebody's offering you forgiveness, or maybe you're offering some form of forgiveness as well with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups can mean many things. It can mean new relationships. It can mean forgiveness. It can mean a proposal. It can mean a gift. There's all sorts of things. This could be an olive branch that's being offered out. Let's have a look if we can get more clues here and see who's causing this or what's causing this. Yeah, I'm seeing the ending of a cycle here. I think there's been a resolution. I think you're facing a resolution here with that Four of Swords. Because the reason, this area here for me will be what's causing this area here. So I'll often ask, well, who or what is causing that? We've got the world. So for me, this is, with the world energy, it's about the completion of a matter. So I would say here with the Four of Swords, that the reason that you are experiencing that in September is because something is being resolved, and what's influencing that is the Ace of Cups. To me, it looks like there's been some form of a resolution of a situation due to forgiveness, due to the olive branch being, and actually if you look in the bird's mouth, can you see there's a branch in his mouth? So it looks to me like there's an olive branch being, to me this looks like some form of reconciling of a difference happening here. Taurus in September 2020. What's the external factors contributing to that as well? The Chariot. Okay, you could be dealing with a Cancerian person, or the external influences will not be you, or it will be something outside. So somebody taking charge here. So I think that the resolution is not down to you, but possibly down to somebody else, because I'm seeing the external influence is contributing to you facing a resolution here, because the root issue is here, what's causing this is that there's been the completion of the matter. The world energy indicates completion and forgiveness, and what's influencing this as well is that there's somebody's extending an olive branch. Whoever's doing this, it's not you, I don't think. I think maybe some of you guys have had a falling out perhaps with somebody, but I'm seeing that person wanting to offer the olive branch. They're deciding that they're going to take charge of the situation with the Chariot energy, and we're seeing the completion of the matter with that World energy. What have you been experiencing over the last few weeks, Taurus, concerning this situation? You've been experiencing the Queen of Coins. So I feel that some of you guys, Taurus, and this is your energy anyway because it's Pentacles. I think that some of you guys have been experiencing a time where you've been just feeling really grounded. Because that's what, and also you're holding on to your values. That's the one thing that I always mention with the Queen of Coins, Taurus. Because if you look at her with the Pentacles, she's holding on to, so you haven't backed down in the situation. I don't think you back down. I think somebody else is going to back down. It's not you, it's them. Because in the last few weeks, look at the Pentacle that you hold. You're holding on to your values. That's the Queen of Coins. Coins aren't just about money. They're about value. They're about your belief systems. What do you believe in? What do you value in life? You know, what are your core beliefs? It's that type of thing with Pentacles. And also, think about it, Taurus. You are ruled by the Hierophant. And if anybody has a moral code and has values, it would be the Hierophant. So you've been holding on to your values. In other words, I don't think in the last few weeks you've backed down over whatever this altercation was or problem was. I think that you held very, very strongly to what your belief system was. I see somebody else coming and offering an olive branch in September 2020. Let's have a look at your, let's have a look at this card here. So the most likely outcome based on everything so far is the Hierophant. Okay. I mean, the Hierophant is all about lessons being learned. It's an interesting thing because Taurus, you are the Hierophant, which is what's really interesting. We could say a couple of things here, really. Firstly, what we could say is that the most likely outcome, but also the Hierophant is about commitment and trust and bonds. So we could say the most likely outcome is perhaps there is a union here between you and whoever this person is. Maybe there's a commitment towards friendship, towards resolving the situation going forward, towards more honesty. Whatever this situation has been, because I'm seeing a falling out perhaps with somebody here, Taurus. But I think that because you're facing the Four of Swords, I'm seeing resolution here, recovery, Four of Swords. And the reason for that recovery is that there's been the ending of a cycle here with the World energy. What's contributing towards that is that somebody is offering the olive branch of the Ace of Cups. Love is being given here. And the outside influences are which contribute to that recovery is the Chariot. Somebody who's decided that they're going to take charge of the situation. I mean, it could be you, but it's an outside influence, an external influence. So it's not kind of inclusive with you. So I think this is somebody else that's doing this. Somebody decides that they want to kind of resolve. And in the recent past, Taurus, you've been holding on to your values. You weren't going to back down. I think it's because some of you guys actually felt that you were in the right. I'm getting that you felt that you were in the right, which is why you were holding close to your values and you weren't willing to back down. So whoever it is that's resolving the situation with you, Taurus, I think that they understand that they were not in the right and they had to really kind of, man up or woman up and say, you know what, let me take charge of this situation with that Chariot and offer the olive branch of the Ace of Cups. And the most likely outcome, two things I'm thinking here, well, three things. I'm thinking, number one, there are lessons to be learned as the most likely outcome. Possibly for that person, you are the Hierophant here. This is them, probably at the bottom. The second thing I'm thinking is that there could be now, as the most likely outcome, commitment and a promise and a commitment of trust and loyalty perhaps going forward. But also the major thing that I'm thinking here is the most likely outcome is that you are in a place of power. It sounds really bad, but you are the Hierophant, you're Taurus, that's you. On the card, you are this person, this religious leader, this moralistic, charismatic leader. That's you on the card, and this is them. Kind of, can you see how they're at your feet? They're kind of asking for your forgiveness. So I feel that the most likely outcome, this puts you really in a place of power, because that's what Hierophants are. When you get a Hierophant in a reading, this is somebody who's in a place of power. This is somebody who's in a place of leadership. So I think that the most likely outcome is we see you actually in the place of power now. I get the impression in September somebody's really asking for your forgiveness, Taurus. They're really sorry for something that they've done. Perhaps you were in the right about the situation. what's coming in then? So this is what's happening. The most likely outcome is there. But what do we see towards the end of September happening? Oh, now there's some worries going on here. There's some anxieties. I'll probably clarify that. Let me clarify that before I look at what the advice is. Who is worrying here? What's the worries about? What is the worry about? What is the anxiety about with the Nine of Swords in 2 cards, please? Right, the Fool. So taking a risk is the Fool energy showing here. Chariot. Taking a risk. Moving forward with the situation. Because we've got the Chariot here again. The Chariot is all about, you know, it's an interesting one. But when you get the Fool card, the Fool is all about taking that leap of faith, taking a risk. You know, the Chariot is all about moving forward as well. So you can read it in a multitude of ways. Here I've read the Chariot as somebody wanted to take control of the situation. It was getting out of hand. Those 2 motorbikes there, if this lady here doesn't take control of those energies there, they're going to literally topple her over. So she has to be strong and she has to be determined and she has to be kind of, there has to be a sense of self-belief that one can control a wayward situation with the Chariot. But here I'm going to read this as kind of moving forward. And I think that there are worries, and I think it's on your part. You're worrying about kind of, with this Fool energy showing here, taking a risk with that Fool energy. Or you might be worrying about being stupid or making a mistake with the Fool card, because the Fool card can also represent making a mistake, because you can be a fool with the Fool card. So some of you guys may be worrying. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, shit, would it be a mistake with the Fool energy if I proceeded and moved forward with this individual here? It looks to me like this person's kind of hurt you before. What is the advice from the universe, therefore, to do in this situation, Taurus? The Ace of Swords. I think the advice is to speak your truth, to let your fears be known with this Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords is all about cutting through the bullshit. It's all about speaking the truth, being honest, being open. It is a card about victory and overcoming fear and taking charge is the Ace of Swords as well. It's all of those things. You can see the hand on the sword here, the wreath around the sword. This is a sign about victory after you know, after turbulence. However, we're looking at, well, what is the advice? What should you do if you're worrying about whether you're going to be stupid or whether you're making a mistake with that Fool card? If you decide to proceed forward with this individual who's asking for your advice, who's asking for your forgiveness, sorry, then the universe is saying, well, if you're that worried about it, Taurus, then maybe you just need to be honest about this. Or it could be with the Ace of Swords, maybe you need to cut them loose. If you don't trust them, the Ace of Swords can also mean to cut. So maybe you need to cut them loose as well with the Ace of Swords. You can do it 2 ways. You can either speak your truth and say, look, I've got reservations about you with the Ace of Swords, or you can just cut them loose and say, you know what, if I don't trust them and if I think I'm going to be making a mistake, maybe I need to cut them loose. What are your hopes or fears with the situation? I feel that your fears are with this Knight of Wands, that this person who asked for your forgiveness, the Chariot person, is the Knight of Wands. They're very fleeting in what they do. They're not committed. The Knight of Wands is ruled by Sagittarius, likes to travel from place to place to place to place, gets all fired up but can burn out very easily. So maybe the fear is that this is a very fleeting situation. It won't last. Knight of Wands energy showing there. Maybe your hopes are that you can pursue this. Knight of Wands means to move forward. It means to pursue a goal with vigour and with passion. But by the same token, the fear might be, well, what if this is just a transitory thing? What if it doesn't? What if this person doesn't stick around? What if they just come in but then they leave again real fast? Therefore, where are things leading to? We can see this is the most significant place here, Taurus. You guys are worrying with that Nine of Swords and you're saying, shit, I'm really worried. What if I'm making a mistake with the Fool energy by moving forward with that Chariot? What if I make a mistake doing that? Well, where are things leading to as a result of that going into October? Well, I think that you'll open your heart anyway with the Queen of Cups. Or I think you'll just follow your intuition. Queen of Cups can be about following your intuition. But for me, the Queen of Cups on this deck, especially with the cup being open, is an interesting one because this is about tapping into your emotions as well. She's interesting because The Queen of Cups can be opening your heart to someone. The Queen of Cups can also be somebody who can be very enclosed, and she can be very tapped into her emotions. Where things are leading to, I think, more than likely, is you guys just tapping into your emotions about this with the Queen of Cups energy. Okay, there's a need to really tap into that intuition here. It's not a High Priestess, but all the same, she's looking into the bowl here. There's no sadness for me with this particular version of the Queen of Cups. She's just really taking account of how she feels, because cups are all about our feelings, and she's looking into the cup here, the cup of water. So I feel that it's leading to you guys really by the end of September going into October really needing to take account of what your feelings are. And that's interesting, because I think if you're, and I'm going to ask, what is it that you're going to do if you do that? Because I'm going to read that Queen of Cups and say, well, if Taurus is worried about making a mistake by moving forward with this individual, then it's going to lead towards, by the end of September going into October, that they're really going to start focusing on what they feel. Now, if you're focusing on what you're feeling, remember the Queen of Cups, water energy is kind of like tofu. It is, it's kind of like tofu. You've got to flavour it. It's kind of very vacant, passive energy in a way. You've got to flavour it. The Queen of Cups could easily, if she's surrounded by swords, be very hurt. Her feelings could be very hurt. You know, it depends on what she's flavoured with, because feelings are not cut and dried. You can feel good, you can feel bad, you can feel love, you can feel hate. She's flavoured by that energy there. You're worrying about making a mistake by moving forward with this individual, but it's leading to you having to take account of what your feelings are with that Queen of Cups. And I'm going to ask, well, what is it that they will do then? What is it that Taurus will do in light of taking account of what they're feeling by the end of September going into October? What they're going to do about the situation in 2 cards. You may just persevere with the Nine of Wands energy showing there. Page of Coins energy showing here. I think that you'll persevere with caution, because the Page of Coins is cautious, and that's to persevere. I think you'll persevere with caution. That's what I think you'll do. I think that you will accept their apology, and you'll accept this person back in, Taurus. But I think that you'll be very wary of them, because the Nine of Wands means to be very wary, and the Page of Coins is to be skeptical. Okay, so let's do this reading again. What an interesting reading. What an interesting reading. So what we see is there's a resolution that you're facing in September 2020. And there are 3 reasons for this happening. Number 1, we're seeing the cause of this resolution is a cycle is now completing itself, the world. Now, the external influences are, so this is somebody outside of the situation, how I read this area, is that somebody that you've had some problem with has decided that they're going to take charge of the situation. It can't carry on the way that it's been carrying on. So they probably, with this being the influencing area here, decide that they are going to offer you an olive branch. You've not been worrying too much about the situation, because you've been saying to yourself over the last few weeks, you know what, I'm in the right. Because you're holding on to your values with that Queen of Coins. So you've been saying, I'm holding on to my values here, Queen of Coins. I'm in the right. You've not backed down. Not at all, because you've known that you were in the right, because you were being holding close to your values here. So we've got somebody who you fell out with taking charge. They're wanting to complete this situation here, and they're wanting to offer the olive branch to you. Can you see how they're offering it to you there? See that as well. But you've got the Pentacle, like, I'm holding on to my values here. And then now they're saying, you know what, let me offer the olive branch, because obviously Taurus is not going to back down. We know that Taurus is ruled by the bull, very stubborn. Therefore, the most likely outcome for this situation sees you, I believe. I don't think that this is, you know, a commitment or, you know, to a reunion. I think that this sees you in a place of power here. Can you see the 2 people beneath here? And this person asking for your forgiveness. They represent these 2 people. Maybe it's 1 or 2 people, but let's say it's 1 person. There they are, being represented by the 2 people at the bottom of the Hierophant, and there you are as this Hierophant. So I very much see the most likely outcome is you being in a place of power here, and this person asking and literally pleading for your forgiveness. Probably makes you feel pretty good, yeah? However, I think towards the end of September, you're going to be worrying. Taurus, you're going to be feeling a little bit anxious with that 9 of Swords, because you're going to be saying to yourself, shit, I'm wondering, am I going to be making a mistake with that Fool energy if I decide to move forward with this person? Maybe with the Chariot, will I be making a mistake if I decide to go out, go travelling with this person, or go to see them with the Chariot? Because Chariot is car drive, it's travel. The universe says, well, our advice is this to you. You either talk to them clearly, lay on the line what your concerns are concerning them, or just cut them off. Ace of Swords. It's one or the other, but you cannot move forward with this situation with all of that worrying going on. Your fears may be, if it's a love thing, maybe they leave. Maybe they come back, but then they leave again, Knight of Wands. Maybe they are not loyal and committed, Knight of Wands energy. It's just transitory. They're here right now, but they're gone tomorrow. Remember, he likes to depart but never arrive. Hopes may be that you'll move forward with confidence, Knight of Wands energy. So what we see is coming in, some worries here. Am I being foolish by going to see them? Am I being foolish by proceeding forth with the situation? It's leading towards, by the end of September going into October, that you're going to very much connect in with your feelings. And what you'll say to yourself concerning those feelings, Taurus, is, okay, I'm going to give them a chance, Nine of Wands, because you're going to persevere with it, but I'm going to be very, very cautious. I'll give them a chance, but I'm going to be very, very cautious about, how far. So you'll let this person back in, but I see you putting your boundaries up. I see you letting them back in, but still all the same, putting your boundaries up at the same time. Let's have a look at what the advice is, spiritual advice is via the mystical healing reading cards. So it doesn't have to correlate to this energy here, Taurus, but it is nevertheless spiritual advice for the month of September. So Universe Spirit, what is the spiritual advice you have for Taurus in the month of September? What is the spiritual advice? What is the spiritual advice you have for... Okay, those two or one that came out. Let's have a look. It says to take positive action. So the spiritual advice for September 2020 is to take positive action. Anything that doesn't make you feel good. And this can be it. The advice could be to take some positive action in that as well. Now that positive action concerning your worries could be, well, if you don't feel good about them and if you've got trepidations about them, why don't you cut them off? In other words, you've got to do what you feel good about. What makes you feel good in terms of this situation? Some of you guys that are deciding, you know what, I'm actually going to kind of connect in with what I'm feeling here. And I'm going to persevere with caution though. Because some of you guys are like, well, I'm feeling a bit trepidation about this person, but I don't necessarily want to cut them off completely. So let me just let them back in. I'll be very careful because remember the Nine of Wands means boundaries. But I'm going to put those boundaries up and I'm going to proceed with caution. Okay, so... whatever the situation is for you in September, Taurus, make sure that in everything you do, you're taking positive action and action that actually makes you feel good. Alright, that is your reading, my darlings, for the month of September 2020. I'm actually going to do a weekly, actually, so I'm going to have your weekly sat next door to this one. I would like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe and have an absolutely fantastic month, and I'll see you on your weeklies. The weekly should be sitting next door, so check that out. Take care. Bye-bye.